Oh, hi! This week I have a little bit different of a project. I mean, all my shit is weird and unrelated to each other, and it's all about just doing stuff with my giant hands. So is it really that different? Anyways, yes, I'm doing something I've never done before, which is sew from a sewing book. I went to the jolly old library because I wanted to find some reference books that specifically talked about waistbands. And oh my god, look at these little teeny guys that are specific techniques. I want to look up this whole collection and then hoard them all. And hey, use your libraries, folks, because you can find shit like this. Something I discovered there is this book by a really awesome sounding lady named Tilly. I have heard Annika Victoria talk about Tilly and the Buttons patterns and stuff in the past, and I don't know why I didn't look into it sooner. Something I completely missed out on, and I feel like it'd be a lot further along in my sewing journey had I gotten more involved back then, because the point of this book, by the way, this super isn't sponsored. I just, I fucking borrowed it from the library and got really excited about the whole concept. So it's a sewing book that takes you from whatever level sewing you're at. In each project as you go, it gets a little more involved and you learn more skills. And then by the end, you're making a lined dress. Even just as a refresher for stuff I have done before, there are things in here that I haven't tackled before. I just want to go through the whole book. And yeah, that's the thing that I have not done before, is just sewn through a whole book. And maybe this is total hubris that I think I can do these projects in a week, because I don't really know what's involved as we go along, but at least the first couple seem pretty easy. I think the first one's like a bandana headscarf, and I've already done bandanas on this channel before, and it's not something I really care to spend time on again. So I think I'm more going to try each project listed in here and then kind of give a recap as to how I think it went. Both my sewing skills and also like how she talks about it, because patterns can be really hard to follow sometimes, but her whole thing is taking the intimidation out of stuff, and I'm really excited to see how it goes under her guidance. I'm jumping in at the pajama pants step, which is actually something I've never made. I've made shorts, and I've always wanted to make my own pajama pants. And the dearest, loveliest woman in the world, Cheryl, sent me both this incredible planner, which I have some projects already laid out in here and a little zipper set aside. I'm looking at the fabric right now. This super soft Doctor Who flannel. I did not cut it out how the pattern instructions told me to, because there wasn't enough to lay it out in an efficient way time-wise, but it was an efficient way saving fabric-wise. So I was able to squeeze in like full-length panels out of this fabric. Very excited, because the one thing I've always prided myself on is the resourcefulness in my sewing. Let's do the damn thing. This is all I've been thinking about since I got these books earlier this week at the library. I'm also curious just if I can do it. Yeah, some are pretty easy. I don't think these pants are going to take too long to put together, though I've never made a drawstring, because she suggests just using a ribbon instead of a drawstring, which certainly would be an easier, quicker option. But the point is to try stuff I've never tried before, and this whole year is about bettering my sewing, giving things a go that I don't usually do. Yeah, okay, enough preamble. I should also iron things. Let's do this properly. Don't be a lazy shit. This is not the point of this. It's to do it the right way, and that means pressing things. Okay. Alright, it's fine. Everything's fine. Let's get the ironing board out. Alright, I pressed out all my shit. Guys, we're doing it. I want to say I started ironing just before 8, and it's just a couple minutes after 9, so we're about an hour into the project, which isn't too bad, because like, it's starting to look like pants. Oh, that seems much easier than I was picturing for the drawstring insertion. Cool. I don't know what I was picturing the process being, but this is much simpler. This is what it looks like when you serge the seam allowance together and then push it back, and then serge it and sew it. No, serge it and press it open. Words today. It's too early in the day for me to be this scatterbrained, but I have the gap for the drawstring right here. It looks like this, and I'm just gonna do some top stitching. I'm so excited with how good this is looking. Not that I should be surprised. I know I don't give myself credit for like anything ever. Look at this fucking thing. It's the simplest shit. I mean, I've made a million straps and shit like that, but something about this fucking drawstring, man, was so satisfying to put together. Eep! They're done! Oh, I'm so excited! Look at these things. They look like store-bought pajamas, except in better fabric than you'd find at the store. Fuck yes! Oh, and they're so soft. Here's the thing though, and this is a thing that happens when you sew things sometimes is, I don't know that I'm gonna keep these, but I don't regret working on these for a goddamn second. Yeah, I'm gonna work on some of the other projects, properly try everything on at the end and see how I'm feeling on some of the items, but I kind of expected some of these to end up either in my Etsy shop or on my garment rack when I'm at events. Yeah, let's just jump into part 2. I gotta figure out what fabric I want, so let's do that. It's very cold. It's middle of January in New England, even though it was 70 last weekend, which was scary big scale, but enjoyable small scale. We're doing this skirt that she has on the cover called the Delphine skirt. And it looks so simple because this is a library copy. I copied every single pattern that she has in the back of the book onto some tissue paper so that I can have my own copies. I gotta dig out the Delphine skirt ones, which I think is just 4 pieces. And I'm gonna add pockets if I can, because I'm never disappointed when something has pockets in it. Ooh, we're gonna do an invisible zipper. I've never done an invisible zipper. I can't believe we're doing this on the 3rd project because we haven't installed a regular zipper yet. In this book, I have done many regular zippers. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at it, but like I can manage my way around a zipper. But also she makes it feel not so scary, so I'm really excited. And because I have a fairy god Cheryl, I was sent a shitload of zippers. I specifically never buy invisible zippers, but she sent me a couple. So let me see what colors I have. And that will help me decide my fabric. It's mostly black invisible zippers, right? Which is fine, because that goes with everything. So this is bin number 1. The fabric suggestion is look for medium weight to heavyweight fabric with body to hold the A-line shape. Cottons like gabardine, canvas, and drill. I don't know what drill is. Denim, corduroy, or linen will all work well. So I don't think any of like the quilting cottons are gonna be heavy enough. I did just use flannel for something. Do I have enough other flannel to do this? I think my options are flannel or wool. This is really nice vintage wool that I got probably 4 or 5 years ago that has been set aside for a special project. It's honestly not even a color scheme that I like. So it's either this or the like cream color one that I have, which I got at the same time. Or yeah, I have a bunch of brown flannel for some reason. And then I have my more specialty fabric, but this is all way too lightweight and silky. It has too much drape to it. It's not gonna hold. These are all quilting cotton linings. Ooh, actually, this is a canvasy type of fabric. I forgot I had this. Ooh, and there's a bunch of it. Yeah, I think this is gonna do it. Might as well, right? And this way I can save the wool for once I know if I like the design or not. Because I do have another skirt design I would like to make these for my Etsy shop, but I don't want to do a test garment on these. But they will get used this year. I swear to God. All right, so I'm gonna press this out and then we'll cut our pattern pieces. Ooh, so I did buy a new thing for my sewing artillery. There is an exception to this, like no buying new shit for my sewing room. It's mostly no buying new fabric or patterns because I have so many and they all need to get used. But you know, if I need more elastic or more zippers, although I think I'm covered for a while because Cheryl's the fucking best. More interfacing, stuff like that, I can't really compensate for that somewhere else and just like swap it out for a different color, whatever. So I don't feel guilty about the thing I bought. But I've never used my tracing wheels, which are these little homies here. But in this book, she talks about using dressmaker's carbon, and I didn't know that existed. It's fucking brilliant. I had no idea. But it does look like the invisible zipper goes at the back seam, which means I won't have an issue inserting pockets. So your girl's getting pockets in this skirt. Eep! Okay, so I've been kind of cruising through this project because most of the assembly is pretty straightforward. I should make sure this is gonna fit me. And yeah, wearing it at my high waist should be fine. It says to insert an invisible zip, which I do have one, but I do not have an invisible zipper foot. So I did just do a bunch of digging into my machine manual, which I haven't looked at all that much, to be honest, even though I've had this machine for like 4 years or something. Maybe more than that, probably more like 6. But what I did find out is that in a similar method to how you have to insert an invisible zip, is that you have to iron the teeth away from the zipper tape, but I'm just gonna use my regular sewing foot because it'll do a close enough job. Probably not perfectly precise, but it's worth a shot. I've never done one of these, so like if it doesn't work out, I will just use a different 9-inch zipper. All right, moment of truth. We're gonna see if this looks reasonable. Oh shit, that's not too bad. Like, it's not perfect, but could have been worse. Okay, hi. I finished the Delphine skirt and I'm in love with it. It was so much fun to make. I'm really jazzed about how this came out. So I installed the invisible zip for the first time and I'm really pumped with how it came out, even without the invisible zipper foot. I'm sure to be a cleaner job, and this would be closing like 100% properly if I had that, but you know, I'm into how it's looking. But another thing I've never done before, and I didn't even know was a thing really, was stitching in the ditch, which is where the waistband was attached to the skirt here, but then to sew the inside of the waistband down, you could stitch along, put the needle right into that seam line. It looks so professional. So yeah, that is 2 garments done. Also, yeah, my washer is going. I'm in the basement, so we're just gonna have to deal with that. I already cut out, well, I cut out all the pattern pieces for all of them. I didn't realize the Clement skirt was something you had to draft on your own, so I did do that yesterday. Today's Sunday. I don't know what, I think I started this Friday. I didn't get as much done as I had hoped yesterday, but I did get hangouts with Grant and Sama. So hi Grant and Sama, I love you both very much, and it was time well spent. I did work on some stuff, but I was also drinking while I was doing it, so wasn't very productive. Okay, hi! I have all of my fabric cut for my Megan dress, and oh my god, it's just so much easier and lovely cutting on like quilting cotton or canvas or something, where the shit I picked for the Mimi blouse, which is what it suggested was something like more drapey and flowy, it's just a fucking nightmare cutting little intricate pieces out of fabric like that. So that's all I did yesterday, was cut out the shit for the Mimi blouse, and I really hated it more than anything else, where I am kind of enjoying the rest of these cuts so far. One thing I want to mention, which Tilly talks about in the book, is like you have a little wiggle room with the width of the Clement's skirt because it's gathered. So my fabric is only so wide. I'm just gonna have it be these couple inches short because it's just gonna take away some of the fullness. I don't like when there's a lot of gathering right next to the zipper. So depending on what the instructions are, I haven't read through that chapter yet. By the way, even the project I didn't do at the beginning, the Brigitte scarf, I still read through like every page in this book, and I don't think I've ever felt inclined to do that in any other sewing book, but I've picked up so many little things from that. But yeah, I just wanted to mention, if you run into the same issue, because I'm just, you know, trying to de-stash my stuff and working with what I have. It's a little short width-wise, but for what it is, there's allowance for that, where some of the other projects, it's not the case. Yeah, so I'm excited I still get to use this fabric because it's so good. So it's the next day. It's Monday. I didn't end up starting on any of these projects because I got mad at myself for working like crazy over the entire weekend. So I'm also glad I got to come in with like completely fresh brain. I mean, I've been going at this since 6:30, 6:45 this morning. I'm about an hour and a half into the Megan dress out of this houndstooth. I did take my sweater off and like see how the bodice was fitting, and I took the dart tucks on the front in a little bit. I've also never done dart tucks before, but I fucking love how they look. I think I'm going to incorporate that into future dress makes. I really like how it looks as opposed to just like a strict line of a regular dart. Okay, hi. It is so goddamn cold in the shop, but I have my neck facing done, and I think it looks so good, and I didn't use an invisible zipper. Although I realized I fucked this one up. It's fixable. I just need to put a hook and eye up at the top, but the way I've done them before is I've put the tape, like the edge of the tape, at the edge of the back bodice piece with the waistband facings. I attach them after the fact, so that seam allowance is taken up, so that would have removed this bit up at the top, so there's a little bit of a gap, but if I put a hook and eye right here, we'll be fucking golden and it'll be fine. So yeah, not the end of the world, and I'm very proud of how the zipper came out. So it is 10:15, and I still need to hem this, add the sleeves, and hem those. Now I'm following her course of action for assembling this, but honestly, I really hate putting in sleeves after the fact, because if there's the option to like keep the side seam open and just stitch it flat, much easier in my opinion. And what a surprise, I am regretting not having put pockets in, because I tried it on to see how it was looking before I did the back, and yeah, I'm annoyed I didn't put pockets in. Maybe after, maybe once I get the rest of these done, I'll add them. Plus, I kinda am glad I waited, because I think where the pockets should go, now that I've tried this on, it is lower than I would have put them otherwise. I don't want them more by the hips than the waist, and it's just constructed differently. Anyways, yeah, let's do some gathering stitches and get these sleeves in. I think it's just hemming stuff. So we're on the home stretch. It's going great. I'm still having fun working on this. Eep! So it's pretty much done. I just gotta hem the bottom. I'm tall, so I think just a regular hem will be fine on this, and then my butt won't be hanging out. Here's the thing I figured out though, right? Oh yeah, and here like the sleeves and stuff. I'm happy with the gathering and the plumage of that. I'm happy with how the bodice is fitting. I'm actually surprised how well the bodice is fitting. Here's the thing back here though, it's sticking out kind of weird. So what I think I'm gonna do, rather than putting a hook and eye at the top, is I think I'm gonna go in, undo some of the understitching I did to keep the facing down, and just like lower, just take the neckline down until it meets the top of the zipper, and then that'll fix this sticking out so much there, and then I don't have to hand sew anything, which is good. This dress is done. It is now 11:30. I'm going to stop and eat something because I have not eaten breakfast yet. I realized I've been in this room since somewhere between 6:45 and 7 o'clock this morning, which also means it took like 4.5 hours for me to do this, but I was also doing detail work, fix some stuff. I think I'm just gonna change the shape of the neckline before I use this pattern again, but I'm really pumped with this dress. I wanna like wear it out for the day to see how I really feel in it, but I'm almost definitely gonna be making more of these. Okay, I had some cereal, I got some tea that's warming up my hands because it's so fucking cold. I am going to get started on the Clemence skirt. I'm going to attach pockets because I know for sure I want them in this. Oh, but wait a second. Can you do French seams? So the side seam attaching technique she's talking about in this, which I haven't done before, are French seams. But I don't know that you can do that when you put pockets in. Maybe I will save the French seams for the blouse I'm making because it's kind of sheer fabric and I wanted to learn to do it for that anyway because I don't like serging when stuff is sheer. Oh yeah, she even says on the pocket thing to leave out the French seams for doing this type of finish. Okay, cool. Okay, as I've been saying, I'm really glad I'm reading like every bit, even if it's something I've done before, or even if it's something I'm omitting. Like I'm not doing the French seams yet, but I read the whole thing and like I've already added pockets to 2 of the garments I've made so far, and I'm reading through her pocket instructions, which are mostly exactly how everything else has ever gone. But this says to serge the side seams of the skirt before they're attached to anything, so just single layer, and then serging the edge of the pocket separately as well, because it's always bothered me that there's that stretch where the pocket's attached, that edge doesn't get serged the way I've seen on other patterns. You attach the side seams of the skirt with the pocket, you know, you like sew around it and then you serge that outer edge, but then all the stuff you already attached on the separate skirt pieces before they got connected to each other. I'm probably losing you for this part, but if you've done pockets, you probably know what I'm talking about. And yeah, the patterns I've seen before and other sewing instructions have said to just serge around the edge, but I like this because everything's gonna be finished. And also serging the corners where the pockets are attached is a fucking nightmare. So doing it this way alleviates all of that. And now I won't have any raw edges. Fuck yeah, Tilly, I love you so much. Hey y'all, it's still really fucking cold in here. So I got the Clemence skirt 100% done and then decided I super hated how I did the zipper. I just did a regular zipper, but for some reason I didn't switch the top thread to like a blue, where this is the darker colored thread. Like I can barely even see it on camera, that I use for the rest of the top stitching and like the stitching in the ditch. I don't even think I did that clean of a job stitching in the ditch, but you can't even notice because, I mean, it's a busy print, so it's easier to hide. I can't see where the thread is because it matches so well. Also, I definitely just like fucked up how I did the top of the zipper where the waistband facing goes on. Driving me nuts. I know it would keep me from wearing it more often, so rather than giving me any excuse to not wear this, because otherwise this is so a style skirt I want, and like the fabric is so good. So I know it will make me happier and more proud and more confident to wear it. I am so fucking beyond pleased that I fixed the skirt. The tops were just a little, like 1/8 of an inch. There was a discrepancy there. These weren't lining up exactly right. And yeah, the top stitching was fucking white for some reason. So, oh, I'm so glad that I fixed it. Adding it to the finished pile. And I have some time. I think I'm gonna noodle around with the Mimi blouse because that's next and it seems interesting. Like I wanna at least see what I'm getting into. Oh, hi. We are on I think this is my 3rd full day working on stuff, and I am pretty happy with how the blouse construction is going. The collar is cool. The facing, I don't love. I may hand tack down in a couple spots because it's sticking out. Oh, one thing I'm definitely not doing for this is the buttons and buttonholes. I'm doing snaps instead because I've done 10,000 fucking buttons and buttonholes, and I just don't feel like fighting with this fabric. I know it's going to be a pain in the ass. This fabric has been tough to work with, and it's super fray-y. The other reason is I don't have much in the way of like a set of pink buttons to use, but I do have a bunch of pink cam snaps, so I'm going to be using those. It's 1 o'clock. I literally just put the last cam snap on as my 1 o'clock alarm was going off. Exactly on track for where I wanted to be today. I figured give myself half a day for finishing this and then getting through the Lulu dress. It's my guess that the Lulu dress is actually going to go quicker than this Mimi blouse did. Hi, it's now Thursday morning, so kind of the last day I have available to myself for this challenge, but I have 2 more rows of stitching to do. Well, and a row of serging, but that'll go in between the 2 rows of stitching. This is what I have so far. I did go off book for these finishing steps, so from the zipper on pretty much. So yeah, regular zipper for me that I top stitched. Really, really like how that came out. And then rather than doing stay stitching by hand, because fuck hand sewing at all possible costs, I'm gonna do a stitch in the ditch on the front here to attach the lining of the bottom of the bodice. So I have a bunch of pins in place holding down the fort. So that's 1 row of stitching I need to do, and then that should be done. Then I just need to hem it. I did a test fit before I put the zipper in, and it seems like it's gonna be good. Okay, we did all the things. I finished the book. I even read to the very, very back, and yeah, got to where the patterns go. I'm so pleased that I did this project. If you are a beginner sewer and are like thinking about trying this, do not do it in a week. For sure, give yourself enough time. I barely stuck within the week timeline, even though I have been sewing for a long time and like knew a lot of this stuff already. So yeah, don't do what I did. Have fun with it. Relax with the book. It was very enjoyable, and I'm super glad I did it. So I want to do like a final show now that I did the finishing touches on everything. Feels like I made these years ago. Also, I very badly need to vacuum my shop because I have made 6 garments and there's just fluff from everything everywhere. So yeah, these are the Doctor Who flannel pajama pants. I do like them a little bit more. I'm even wearing my leggings underneath because I thought I'd wear just like a black base layer for all of these. So I couldn't figure out what it was about these that I wasn't liking, and honestly, I think it's because I made them in flannel, because I have a pair of pajama pants that I was wearing the past day and a half that are basically like jersey material, where it's the same kind of shape, but they like flow better. I don't know. They're comfortable. The flannel does feel really nice, but I just don't like them as pajama pants. They're not flowy enough for me, and that's where I'm at in my life, is flowy PJs. So yeah, I'm gonna put these up in my Etsy shop. I have a 32-inch waist and a 40-inch hip, and these are like bigger on me, and they have a drawstring, so they're adjustable, so if that sounds within your size parameters. Okay, next up is one of my favorites, although it's not in fabric that I think I'm gonna wear much. I don't know. We'll see. This is like the actual try-on part of the video, so I'm not going to make any final decisions till I have the things on my body. I really liked how this came out, and the thing that most excites me about making this again, because I'm definitely going to make this skirt again, is that it doesn't take up that much fabric. I think it takes the least out of any of the projects. So if you don't have a lot of a fabric that you really, really like, then you can whip up one of these babies. There is this one tuck right here that I can see, but for how rigid this material is, I'm not mad about how it came out. Obviously happy about the pockets. For not having an invisible zipper foot, I'm really pleased with the job I did here. The only thing here missing is like a big ass Hufflepuff applique, like a badger face or something. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with this. Okay, so next in like book order is the Megan dress, but I'm gonna wait to do the dresses till the end so that I only have to change out of my top and everything once. I know the laziness here is just astonishing. Some next level shit. All right, this, I think this is my favorite one. This is for sure gonna get worn the most and is the thing I'm going to make the most. I'm so glad I went back and fixed the back zipper thing, because that was gonna drive me nuts and make me not want to wear it. Also, I don't know that I tried this one on at any point, so this will be a good time to check that out. Oh, it's perfect. And did I mention that the pockets are red? Because the pockets are red, and I'm very into this. Oh, I love it so much. Yeah, this is like my current favorite style skirt. This goes out a ways, but it's not super heavy either. The ones I have already are out of wool, so they like kind of weigh down a bit, but this is nice and breezy. Okay, y'all know the deal. this is my least favorite of the bunch. For many reasons, though I have to say I like the neckline more than I was expecting to. I thought the featherweight interfacing I used was light enough, but the neckline facing is just not having it. Also, shout out to my walking foot, because there's no fucking way I would have made it through this without you. I don't know where I'm at with this. It's my least favorite, and I'm definitely not going to wear it. So maybe if I put a closure at the top, I can also list this, but like it's not laying nicely, so I don't know that I feel okay selling it. Does anyone want this? Oh, I love this one so much. It's so fucking comfortable too. This is the Megan dress. It's little puffy sleeves. I like how the back neckline's fitting. I would make it lower in a future iteration. Make it into like a V back. I didn't add the pockets to this one, but that's fixable. Something I'm definitely going to add. Yeah, without having done a mock-up, I'm really impressed with how well this fits. Okay, now for the dress. I just finished, that I haven't actually fully gotten on myself yet. Oh, the zipper's up already. Ah! I forgot I had a pocket! Okay, so the bust is like for a little bit fuller than mine. Although I think I have a padded bra on the back of my dresser that I could have. Yeah, I really like the back. And the zip looks really fucking good. But most importantly, look at that floof. Okay, that did not fix the problem. Well, it looks a little better. These darts need to come over more, because these ones look fine. They have to stop at like your nips, okay? This doesn't feel good. I used to wear padded, I mean, I wear like, you know, there's padding in there, but these are like, why can't I think of, push-up bras. I used to wear them when I was just out of high school. I don't know. More power to people that like wearing them, but I hate how this looks and feels right now. That's kind of nice and reassuring though, actually. Ugh, it is funny how like the older you get, the less you give a shit about those kinds of things. Many kinds of things. Those types of things in particular, I was very self-conscious about having small boobs. It is what they is. Cool grammar skills, me. I feel really good getting through this. Again, I would not advise pushing yourself to do this all in a week, because I was also working 2 part-time jobs and like being a person that exists. Kind of. I haven't gone grocery shopping in the week and need to do that. Yeah, I can't recommend her book enough, regardless of what sewing skill level you're at. I definitely learned a lot. You know, stay stitching, French seams, the dressmaker's carbon. Oh my god, what a game changer. I don't know how I haven't heard people talk about that before. And yeah, this was a really rad thing to do. I'm glad I'm on the other side. I feel like I learned so much in a week. It was like a crash course. I'm just glad people like Tilly Walnes exists, and I'm really excited to check out this Gertie book. I think I'm going to give it a read through, skimming, and then scope out some of the projects. I certainly can't do this in a week. Did I talk about this yet? Cheryl sent me this to my P.O. box, and I cried in my truck because it was the book I most wanted after I got this, because I had heard of Tilly but never looked into her. Like, I had no idea she had books or anything. I just thought it was a pattern company, which is fine, but like I have so many patterns, and that's why I kind of strayed away from checking her out. But yeah, didn't know it was like a learning blog and that she had books like this out. Oh, it's so good. But I've been following Gertie for a while. I did one of her patterns, that Deathly Hallows dress that I have. I posted a while ago. It's for sale in my shop. Once the stretch one's available at the library, I might do another week challenge, but I started sewing Friday, the day I posted my Goon cosplay video, and today's Thursday. So that means I have to edit this whole video and have it up for tomorrow, where I need to give myself like an actual real week if I do it next time, but also like maybe I just don't. Maybe I just like give myself a bigger window to sew that up. Maybe her new one, she's coming out with one at like end of February, I think, that I'm really excited to check out too, because it's specifically quicker projects. Oh hi, P.S. I'm finally vacuuming up this mess from the fury of sewing that happened this week. Flurry of sewing that happened this week? It doesn't matter. But I wanted to mention that the 2 fixes I'm going to do, like adding the pockets to the Megan dress and redoing the dart to the Lilu dress, I'm going to do a video, maybe even a live stream that then I cut into a video. We'll see. By the end of the month, I'm going to add it over on my Patreon. So if you have any interest in seeing the like nitty-gritty details of how I'm going to go about that, it's open to all tiers. Just if you have any interest. I'm very bad at talking about that stuff. So yeah, gonna be a little like bonus content over there for you. Okay, back to whatever I'm sure outstanding and succinct outro I did earlier this morning. Okay, this must be forever long, so I'm gonna go. I will see you all back here with a new video next Friday. Thank you so much for hanging out. This was such a super rad one. This Tilly Walnes. Oh, whoops.